To be, Jeff, you got a redshirt freshman quarterback that's looked very good the last 3 games. The most offense we've had in all season long, Jeff, have been the last 3 games. But, Lord, Jeff, with the portal the way it is, I hope Gagliano will be back. But did he play well enough to get the attention of somebody else to say he may drive it on down the road?
Yes.
Unfortunately?
Yes. I think that's definitely true. May have been true even before we won the last 2 ball games. And maybe somebody would look at him and say, well, maybe he's not satisfied where he is. He's playing very well, and the team is not playing as well as he is, except maybe they think that. I don't know whether that's true or not.
Does it not madden you? It does me to even have that conversation. You have to sit here and talk about that very thing. That a player can have a bright future for Middle Tennessee fans, and the rug could be pulled out from under us that quickly.
Yes, it clearly it can happen anywhere in the country.
And it will, a lot of places.
Sure will. That's right. And I would suspect that I'm not sure what his deal is at Middle or what it would be offered anywhere else. I don't know anything about any of that. To me, I don't like it at all, but there's just something about it that just... Yeah, I don't know.
Now we sit here and I got to ask this question. If you're Middle Tennessee, don't you give him the most money you can find?
Well, sure. I would think so.
Which is kind of, a sad commentary on the whole mess that's there. But it is the mess we've got.
Well, and it is true that I think I can say this and be accurate. This is the same stuff. The players are now eligible to do the same stuff.
Sure.
that coach has been doing for years.
Of course. And Linda, my wife, asked me the question, why do they get to do that? And I told her that very thing. It is the right thing in the grand scheme of the kid himself. For the player, it's probably the right thing. Look at Diego Pavia. You know where he was 2 years ago playing football?
Yeah.
New Mexico State, the team that Middle Tennessee just beat this 2 weeks ago. He goes from there to the Heisman stage. Never would have done that at New Mexico State, would he?
No, certainly not. And
so for him, it was clearly the right thing.
And he proved it again Saturday.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, he didn't have a great game, but he had a pretty good game, and he had an excellent second half. Boy, I tell you what, they were dynamite in front of 100,000 hostile people.
Other than 2 turnovers, which you can't say other than, because 2 turnovers are huge. But he did have 2 turnovers. But Jeff, he also had over 400 individual yards, either rushing or passing. So, and I think you've alluded to it, and I think most of us will agree. Without Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt's not where they are.
Oh, no. That'd be just another average football team. And as it is, they've won 10 for the first time in history, isn't it? I think.
That's correct. Well, congratulations, Coach Derek Mason. Let's just go back to that stage for sure. 2 wins. Tomorrow's National Signing Day for high school football players. Let's go sign a bunch. Let's hang on to the ones we've got. Let's go have a good season next year. We desperately need a really good football season next year at Middle Tennessee.
Yes, we do. And we certainly need more than 3, and I'm sure nobody knows that better than Coach Mason.
And we'll work hard to get it done, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
All right, let's talk about something that is kind of a sure thing. Oakland playing in the state finals for the 83rd time in a row. Is that about right?
I'm not sure how many times it is, but and an excellent chance to win it. It's in neutral fields in Chattanooga. Oakland's played there, I think. I don't know if Ravenwood has or not. It was, and I really kind of surprised that this happened, really, in a way, because you're almost always wrong. But those are the 2 teams that I thought would be there. Mm-hmm. And do I think Oakland will win? Yes, I do. But they better not be. Don't pick that day for a bad game.
How teased were you by the fact that Oakland barely won in Week 4 of the playoffs, the quarterfinals, I should say, and Blackman won in good fashion, and Blackman had a real shot to beat Oakland? How realistic was that going in? And then what? Remember 2 years ago, Riverdale beat Oakland in the regular season, and Oakland came back and just clobbered them in the playoffs, which is exactly what happened this time around. Because I was convinced, Jeff, that Blackman really could go in there and have a chance. And if they played again tomorrow, they very well may. But they didn't that night.
No, they didn't that night. I think sometimes, and you just don't know when, but sometimes at some spot during the season, a loss can actually help you. Mm-hmm. And
or a close win.
Okay, and
A scare.
Green Hill was a fine football team and had a good year, and they put a scare into Oakland. There's no question about it. And evidently that awakened the juices in Oakland because they certainly didn't slow down for Blackman.
Well, I was like a lot of folks. Oakland may be leveling out. Blackman's on the move, and I do think they had a real shot. And who knows? We're talking about 16, 17-year-old kids, Jeff. 2 nights in a row, you don't get the same product, do you?
No, you don't. Or from play to play sometimes. That's right.
And being that Oakland playing for, realistically, is this a 6th straight? It's a bunch.
I don't know.
You and I, being professionals we are, Jeff, we should know.
Okay.
I'll leave that up to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Well, I think one thing for sure, I believe I'm right. I think we've picked them every year.
Well, I'll pick them next year right now.
Okay.
Until
that's what I mean.
And I'll say exactly what I said. We'll say in August of this coming year. Until somebody beats them, I'll take Oakland. Riverdale was in that same situation 20 years ago for sure, right?
Right. And you look around and you realize really this is a very unforgiving game in a lot of ways, a sport in a lot of ways. I mean, Riverdale and now Blackman as well have had 2 or 3 excellent seasons. I mean, excellent seasons. Yes. And they're sitting at home when they're all said and done. And I don't know if that's just the way it is. That's just football.
The new playoff system at least gave us 2 semifinalists instead of 2 quarterfinalists.
Right.
They had to wait one more week to lose. But Jeff, you could make a case that Oakland Blackman are the 2 best teams in the state.
Okay.
Could you make that case?
Yes, you can make that case. But I think that Riverdale would have an argument.
Sure.
But they did lose to Blackman and Oakland. So
now we're getting into college football playoffs scenario, which is controversial as the devil right now, trying to figure out who's going to do what. Here in about it's 5:14 in about an hour and a half. The playoff committee, which Chris Massaro, athletic director at Middle Tennessee, is on. He's one of those 12 guys that are being dog cussed across the country about how they're going to get this done. Jeff, you're trying to put 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound sack. You just can't do it. There's not enough space for all the good teams that need to be there.
No, and I don't care what kind of job that Chris Massaro does or the committee does. They will displease a whole bunch of people.
Yes.
And that's just the way it is, and they can usually back up their decisions or at least make a good case for it. And I don't really have much of an argument really in any particular year. Somebody probably gets a bad deal, a snub every year that should be in there. I know one year Penn State did. I thought it should have been there, and they were just the odd man out. I mean, for whatever reason.
Well, for whatever reason, we know this is to be true. Notre Dame being Notre Dame is going to be the subject of scorn, whether they get in or they don't. And so here around this part of the country where Vanderbilt, Jeff, in my opinion, is one of the 12 best teams in the country. I really believe that for sure and should be playing in the playoffs. That's kind of the target area for Vanderbilt's really better than Notre Dame. We don't know that. We can talk about the bias that Notre Dame has nationally. Well, guess what? The people in Nashville have a bias too. And that's trying to pull for Vanderbilt. But, boy, I just hate for them. They're not going to get in, Jeff. They're just not going to get in. And that's a shame.
You don't think Vandy's going to get in?
I don't think Vandy will get in.
I'm not sure you're right about that, but I'm also not sure that you're wrong. And the one thing that I like about the quarterback and is that he's just one of those people, and every once in a while you have one or you coach one, if you're lucky, that he will do anything that he possibly can himself not to lose. Mm-hmm. He just can't stand it. Now, his attitude is okay if it happens, and it's happened to him a couple of times this year, but he's just a worker. And now whether they will reward that with a place in the playoffs or not, I don't know.
Or in the Heisman Trophy room. He's got a shot at that.
He does.
As well.
He does, and they were talking about that the other night, and that it would be a shame if he wasn't in New York. And I thought, well, maybe. Okay. I don't care about that. I don't care about the Heisman Trophy. It doesn't make a difference to me who gets it.
At least the 12 people on this committee do have reams and reams and reams of paperwork and stats and this, that, and the other, and they go through it and they talk it through. Jeff, to vote on the Heisman, all you have to do is be a former Heisman winner, for example.
Right.
You can, let's watch the game Indiana and Ohio State Saturday. I'll watch that game, and whatever quarterback plays the best that day, that's who I'll vote for Heisman. They can do that. That's all the criteria they got to have. So
yes.
the Heisman Trophy is, if something's a mess, it really is.
Yes, I would agree with that, and
which means Diego probably has really little chance to win it, don't you think?
I wouldn't think so. No, I don't know though.
Sure.
We've had a couple.
He is a Rudy kind of story. That's on his side.
We've had a couple of Heisman trophies that were very questionable over the years, but not many, not really. We usually get a fine player, and then maybe you could argue about it, but okay, that's all right.
Jeff, let's take a break.
Well, whatever you say.
We'll do that. We'll come back and talk more All Sports Talk right here on WGNS.
Every team knows which play can be a winning move. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right by combining your home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850. It's a winning move that saves you time and money. Your ride, your stuff. You live with them together. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack. It's smart to protect them together, to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me help you save by combining your auto and renters.
You've changed thousands of diapers, cut off hundreds of crusts, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Deb Insel, and I can help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You know, everyone has a more. First, it's a pony. Then to be on the cheer squad. Your more grows up just like you do. But your more can still carry you away or make you cheer. At First Bank, banking local gets you more. More of our time, more access to local bankers, more flexibility, and more product choices. Because getting more empowered and confident helps you pursue your more. That never grows old. First Bank. Bank local, get more. Member FDIC.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's has a team of experienced auctioneers and realtors who make selling your property simple. Whether you're selling your home, farm, or have an estate to settle, auctions are easy, fast, and profitable. You don't have to worry about the hassle of updates, repairs, or showings, and you'll receive multiple offers on auction day.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Clark's Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
Hi, I'm Wade Hayes, owner of Toots Good Food and Fun. I strongly believe that volunteers make a positive difference in the quality of life here in our community.
Rutherford County's Chief of Staff, Eric Hennessy, has a history of helping those in need. He's been honored with awards recognizing his pro bono legal assistance to those in need. In addition, his involvement in mission trips, service on both Main Street as well as the Discovery Center's boards, demonstrates a pattern of volunteer service to this community. Thank you, Eric Hennessy.
At Toots, we strongly believe that it's important for every one of our citizens to give some of their time and talent back into the community. And we want to honor these individuals with a Toots gift certificate good at any of our Rutherford County locations. 860 Northwest Broad Street, on Church Street in the Barfield area, in Smyrna on Sam Ridley, and Toots West on Franklin Road at Rucker Lane.
Good afternoon. There's a big backup right now due to a crash in Cheatham County on 24 westbound, like you're headed towards the Jolton area. As a matter of fact, it's backed up all the way to the Jolton area there. The crash happened on 24 westbound at the 31-mile marker. Again, it's got traffic really slow if you're headed towards Clarksville on 24 going westbound. Just had a crawl there at that Whites Creek Pike exit there in Jolton. Starting to build I-40 out through the Mount Juliet area. When you need dependable towing for your car or truck, call STR Towing and Recovery. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
It's All Sports Talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, wgnsradio.com, and Big G TV.
Welcome back into All Sports Talk. Tim Tackett along with Jeff Jordan. Jeff brought to you by Fans Heating and Air and Lee Collin Financial Services with Edward Jones. Jeff, do you happen to know how many NCAA Division I men's basketball teams there are in this country?
No, I don't have any idea. A couple of hundred, I guess. Probably more than that.
Let's go to 367.
Okay.
365, make that back. Ranked 365, by the way, Mississippi Valley State, just in case you're curious. Middle Tennessee, nice win last night over UAB, Jeff. Followed that up with a nice win over Murray State earlier in the year, Evansville over the year. There are 3 losses, is kind of where I'm getting to. 3 losses this year are teams that rated in the top 80 in the country. McNeese State, George Washington, which don't ring a lot of bells, but they're both very good basketball teams, and then a win over UAB and Murray State. We've got a pretty good men's basketball team on our hands, I think.
We do, and we went last night with my grandson-in-law and my great-grandson, and had a great time, of course. Popcorn was really good. First half play was pretty good. Second half play was really good.
The last 10 minutes in particular, I guess.
We outscored them second half. I'm not even sure what the final was, but we outscored them.
We won by 15. We're down 1 at the half. Is that right?
That's right.
So I outscored them 16 in the second half.
32-31, I believe, at the half. And we came out at the second half, and we swapped baskets for a little while, and then went on a run, then went on another run. And it was and got a lot of contribution from a lot of people and played pretty well.
I kind of bring up the UAB and Murray State schools because those are 2 schools that when we beat them, it does get the attention of fans around Murfreesboro. Because we remember Murray for sure. I was not aware, but this is true. We've played Murray State more than anybody else we played in men's basketball ever.
Is that right? I would have picked
I would have thought Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
But it's Murray State. We've had more games. I think 149 times we've played against them. But nice win on a neutral site for that game, and then losing to Georgetown and McNeese on the neutral site, and then the home win against UAB. Beat UAB last year on the road, so that's a good deal.
Well, it was a good effort last night. They do work hard, and I think they're very well coached, and they are pretty deep. They're about 9 deep.
Depends a lot on the 3-point shot for sure, and if they're hitting the 3-pointers, they're going to be real dangerous to lots of folks. They'll have a night or two, but the kid inside, Loof, tall and skinny, not a real muscular kind of a guy, but pretty nimble around the rim.
Yeah, and he jumps well. He'll block a shot for you, 2 or 3. I was impressed with him, but we had others that, particularly down the stretch, the last 6-7 minutes, played really well, I thought, and put that ball game away.
Lady Raiders play tomorrow night against Belmont, a team that has been there throwing their side in years when we've not been really good. This year, record's just 3-4, Jeff, and that young team is showing. The lack of size inside really is beginning to show from what I've seen. It's really been hard for our 6-footers to compete inside, so forth. But we knew going into the season this was a work in progress, and by February they will be a much better team for sure.
Oh, I agree with that, and it's always a work in progress, as you know. And a lot of times you come out of Christmas and the holidays, New Year's, whatever, and you've got not a different basketball team, but they may make a whole lot more progress than you think during that very short period of time, really. And I imagine that will happen to us. I don't know how to look at the Tennessee game. I was there, and it was awful.
Well, the worst case scenario, the one thing that you cannot afford to do against a team that's physically better than you is get off to that kind of a start. When it's 14-0, Tennessee couldn't miss. Middle Tennessee could not. At 14-0, it was really hard to judge it from that point on.
Yeah, I was, of course, disappointed, and most people around me were disappointed.
Sure, of course.
But I don't know that. And, Tim, I think, too, that every once in a while you play a game at any level, I don't care who it is, a game you just want to forget. You just don't put too much stock in what happened. That can be true if you just run away and win big, or you can't play at all.
Funny that you bring that up. The guy that's sitting next to me is not got a coaching background as I do, which makes you and I genius, right? Since we coached. But he asked me, he said, I guess they'll spend a lot of time looking at this tape tomorrow. And I said, I won't call his name. I said, if it's me, I put that tape in the drawer. I never look at it.
Yeah, that's probably me too.
Because I don't think there's much to gain from it at all.
No, I wouldn't think so.
And you're right. And if it's the other way around, I doubt the Tennessee looked at it very much either. They got nothing to look at from that game as well.
No, and they played. Everybody they brought big minutes. I mean, and
they all looked the same, didn't they? 6'4" and long arms.
I tell you what,
reached through the roof, and that full court press was just suffocating.
Well, that was two things that I wanted to point out, and that is that I'm sure that our point guard rolled out of bed on the next day and was hurting. She was either guarded by a great defensive player or two of them most of the night, and it really hurt. The second thing I just want to point out is that UT, with all those great players, went out to UCLA and got beat 20. So,
well,
it depends on where you are and who you are and how you're playing on that night.
I'll bring up the third point, and then we'll move on. Middle Tennessee will never see a press like that again this season in Conference USA.
That's correct.
There's no physical way to do it. Very few teams have that kind of length, and with Tennessee, it's hard to say how good they're going to be. And you just mentioned maybe not so good against a team that has seen that kind of press and can break it. And I think this time next month, Middle Tennessee would break that press a lot better.
I would agree with that. Yes.
But this time they weren't ready for it. And it just, that turnover, 37, 38 turnovers in the game, that's got to be close to a school record. Got to be close to a Rick Ensel record for sure.
I would think so. And also we were, I don't know what the figures were, but I would guess that we were badly out-rebounded. And if we weren't, we should have been. Because they were bigger than we were and as quick as our players. It's just it's a team that, and I felt a little sorry. He probably wouldn't appreciate me saying this, but I felt like it happened so quick, so fast that the Blue Raider coaching staff really didn't have much time to make any adjustments. Right. I mean, you look up and you're trailing by 14. I mean, and you hadn't scored. I mean, it's just, you think, well, what do I do? Well, whatever it is, and it's too late now.
The non-coaches are up there thinking, well, why does Coach Ensel not call a timeout and get the X's and O's worked out and work this out? It don't work that way, does it?